Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Yannah of Yashar'al, and today we're going to be discussing letting Yahuah guide us, okay? Throughout the call, you'll hear our WhatsApp group. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group, please send me an email at yannahofyashar'al@gmail.com, okay? And before we get started, we're going to do like some icebreaker questions as we always do, okay? All right, here we go. The first one is, whose rod turned into a snake after he threw it in front of Pharaoh? What was that?
Moses.
Aaron.
Yeah, it's Aaron. Yep. It was Aaron. Yeah, that's found in Exodus 7:10. Okay, and Aaron is his brother. Yeah. Okay, this one's a little harder. Maybe it's not. All right, the next question is, what island was Yahuchanan, John, living on when he wrote the book of Revelation?
Patmos.
They got it really quick. Yeah. Yes. Good job, guys. All right, the next one is, which king of Judah, of Yahudah, defeated invaders by having his men sing to Yahuah?
Can you repeat that?
Which?
That wasn't Joshua, because Joshua wasn't king, right? Like, it wasn't Joshua. Sorry.
Hezekiah?
It's a hard one, apparently. Okay.
I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat it?
Okay, which king of Judah defeated invaders by having his men sing to Yahuah? Y'all remember? Remember they all? Remember when they sing? Okay, y'all me just tell y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, Jehoshaphat in 2 Chronicles 20:21. Got it?
Oh, so what?
Jehoshaphat.
I remember. Yeah, they was praising. Then all the enemies fought each other.
Yeah. Yep. I know, that had to be a sight to see, for real. And that goes to show how powerful praise is, too. So, something to think about. All right, the next one. Whose mother-in-law did Yahusha heal from a fever?
Peter, Kepha.
That was quick. Yes. Since that was so easy, I'm going to do two more. Who said this? Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee.
Is it Peter?
Yeah. Yep. It was Peter. Good job. All right. Last one. Who said this? I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea.
Daniel?
Yeah, that was quick. Yes, that's in Daniel 7:2.
Why are you trying to do Daniel's voice?
Make it more intense. The question of the week is, do you ever feel like you're not letting Yah be in control? Just something to think about.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
You have to really let go of control every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision,
Yeah. Yes. So this is going to be very interesting topic, because it has to do, like you said, Tessa, we have to let him be in control every day. And I think like we're so used to trying to be in control ourselves, all the time. So, that saying, y'all, everybody heard that saying where they say, Yahusha take the wheel, it can be difficult, for sure. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all a dream.
They say it, but actually putting action to it,
they don't.
Is where it comes in. You know what I mean? You have to actually do it and not just say it.
Yeah.
But actually do it.
Yes, it is very.
Yeah, it's kind of like they'll say that. I'm agreeing with Tessa wholeheartedly, and then you'll get and forgive me for God helps those who help themselves. It's kind of the same. You'll get that the very next breath. So, you know.
Yes, that is true. I've heard that. I've heard people say that all the time. Well, you know, he helps those who help themselves. So yes, you're so right.
Yeah. Billie Holiday. And we're so used to our flesh being in charge that's what the battle is. Like the flesh has been in charge so long that it's like hard to, you know, Yahuah has blessed us to let go of control.
It can be scary sometimes, you know. It's like, what's that scripture? It says, blessed are those who believe without seeing, you know. It's hard sometimes. It's like, you know, Yahuah is real, but then it's kind of hard sometimes to trust him. I think sometimes because you can't see him. I think that's why people are so easy to trust in things like people, presidents, kings, you know what I mean? Because you can see them. So, yeah. But Yahuah, he is the creator. He is. And he always has existed. He always will existed. I mean, he always will existed. He always has existed and he always will exist. So it's like he knows everything. So he has the perfect plan. He knows the future. He knows everything. Just like he knew we were going to go into captivity, you know, way before it happened. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That invisibility is what causes people to stumble a lot of times.
Yeah.
And then you get that look when you tell people, well, I'm just going to trust Yahuah. And then people look at you like, well, you could do it yourself, or you just kind of get that from the world too.
Like you being lazy or something.
Hear that easily. Yeah. We can hear a human standing next to us, so we can hear direction from a human. But you have to really sit and listen for his voice. And a lot of times, we're not trained, or we haven't been. You know, it's not easy.
Well, we definitely have been trained to listen to pastors and stuff for, you know, so long. And to know that, I don't think they really teach us to sit in the quiet and meditate. You know, you'll hear people say meditate on his word, but what about, you know, being in the quiet? What about fasting? What about, you know, long periods of, you know, listening out for his Ruach? Like, that's not something they teach or taught us, you know? So today, that's what we're talking about. Letting Yahuah guide us. Stop trying to be in control and waiting on Yahuah. So I'm going to tell y'all my dream. I want to say real quick, but I wanted to give y'all all the details. So here we go. All right. And then we'll get into it. So this was about a week ago. I had this dream. So in the dream, I was at a university on lunch break. Okay. I was returning to school from my break and was in a parking lot. And there were a lot of cars, and one end was open, and my car was, my car began to slide. So just to give you a visual, like, well, okay, so it was in a parking lot, and one half of it was like kind of bright and snowy, and then it looked like the rest of it was in the parking lot. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. But anyway, so my car began to slide down, okay? And it was a whole bunch of cars, right? I got out of my car before it started to slide in the parking lot. And I think I went to go look at a tree. That's why I got out of the car, y'all. But when I went to go get back into my car, I realized it was on a slope and wasn't in park, I guess. So there was snow on the outside, but not in the parking garage, okay? So it went down the little hill, like in, you know, and it went between these cars, and then it went straight and it hit a car that was facing, like it looked like it had backed in. So at first it didn't damage the other car. And like I said, it went between the cars with no problem. So the cars that were around it didn't scratch them. It didn't scrape them. It just went. Okay. Mind you, I'm standing outside of the car and this is happening. So yeah. So, Yeah, and I remember it happening in my dream kind of slow, like not slow motion, but you ever see a car just moving because somebody didn't leave it in park and it's just going and it's like, well, how can I handle this? Can I go jump in the car? Or I don't really want to do that. I don't want my feet to get ran over. So it was just kind of happening slow. I tried to stop it, but I couldn't, okay? And I had my keys in my hand where I thought I could stop it, but I wasn't able to. I ended up pushing something that caused the car. So I had a key, like my key fob in my hand, okay? My car was red. It's the same car I have right now. A red car. I had my red car. So yeah, I ended up pushing something that caused it to hit the front of the car, the parked car bumper, and then it damaged it. So remember earlier I said it hit the car first when I wasn't touching anything. I didn't touch the remote, and it hit it and bounced off of it, and it wasn't damaged. But when I pushed the remote, I pushed the button, and then it damaged the car. Okay, just remember that for the future. Okay. So hold on, y'all. So I ended up pushing something and hit it, and it damaged it, okay? Which is weird because the first time I hit it, it was fine. I said that. The car was white. The other car that I hit was white, okay? And I didn't seem panicked, okay? I walked up to the car, and at that point, I remember that we were at a university. I remember, thinking this in the dream. We were at a university, and I had been on break for lunch, and most of the people were also on break. So some people were on break. Everybody had like different classes. So everybody had different classes and different schedules. Okay. So the persons whose car I hit, that car was white. Hold on, y'all. The persons whose car I hit was white, okay, and my car was red, and I told y'all that. By the time I walked up to the car that slid into another car, there were people looking who had saw. So there was onlookers out there, okay? And they said something to me, it wasn't a big deal. Nobody was mean to me. It's just like they just saw that it happened, okay? And I'm not sure what they said. And I told them, okay, I'll handle it, okay? I'll handle it, guys. And then they went on about their business. And I looked at her car, okay, because I knew later on I found out it was a woman. I looked at her car, and the front was damaged, but I looked at the front of my car and it was completely untouched, okay? Then I started thinking about my car insurance. I thought if I tell my car insurance that I accidentally hit a parked car, they will raise my insurance. That's what popped in my head. Then I rationalized and thought, well, it would be cheaper if I just give, the person money and go through, and don't go through the insurance. Then I could see that somebody was coming. That's when I found out it was a woman, okay? And it was a Gentile, it was a white woman. It was a Gentile woman, okay? I wasn't sure if it was the person who owned the car at that point in time. But then I thought to leave, I was like, okay, well, I'll just leave a piece of paper on her car with my number on it or something. But I kept going back and forth in my head. Then I thought, well, my car isn't damaged, so how could she know that it was me who hit her car, unless she saw, excuse me. How would she know basically that I'm the one who hit her car, unless my car is right here? My car wasn't damaged, okay? So really, then I thought about backing up and just moving and parking somewhere else. I really was going through a lot of stuff in my head. So she wound up coming back to her car, and I remember it was dark where her car was, and then she had to turn. So it's she didn't see the damage yet, but she had to turn on lights, and she wasn't paying me any attention. So then by the time she gets to her car, I didn't really see her reaction because I started going and driving away, okay? Anyway, so after I left, I began driving pretty slow for another parking spot. I was looking for another parking spot. I was thinking about what I just did. I was thinking about the woman, okay? And as I'm driving, I lost my sight. It went dark. I couldn't see, okay? Everything goes black, and I know exactly why I lost my sight, okay? Then I think to myself, okay, what did I do wrong? then I thought about what I did wrong, because I knew what I did was wrong. Like, I left the scene. I did, I damaged her car, and I just left, Anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, I'll go back and I'll give her my information again. So then I began backing my car up. And I'm still blind, by the way, but I began backing my car up. Mind you, it was not hitting anyone or anything, okay? I even passed the train track, okay? There was people around me. I'm driving, and I was not hitting them, okay? But I'm blind. Remember, I'm blind. I cannot see, okay? Yahuah was making sure I was moving in the right direction, even though I couldn't see. Then I got my sight back when I was heading back to go do the right thing, okay? And I started going away from doing the right thing again. I got out of my car, y'all, and I got on a bike and started riding it, all right? Then my eyes went dark again. Then I started heading back to go do the right thing again, and I'm riding this bike, okay, and this part is really wild. So I'm riding this bike, okay, remember I left my car behind. I'm riding this bike, and it's like an old school bike from, like, the old school bikes with the really slim tires from like the 30s or 40s or something. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. They got really skinny tires. But I was riding a bike like that, okay? And then I wound up on the other side of the parking lot, and I'm riding the bike while I'm blind, okay? But I'm able to ride it, I'm able to ride on it, and I go past people, okay? And then I wind up going over this tightrope, and then you can see the lower level of, like a lower level of the parking lot, but it was like no ground on this side. So it's like if I was to go to the left or to the right on the bike, I would have fell and possibly broke a bone or something, or died, because it was many, many feet down. But I'm riding on this bike. I'm blind again, okay? And I go over this tightrope, and I don't hit anything, okay? So then I wound up, when I get to the other side, then I start getting like irritated. I get off the bike, go, fall onto the floor, and I start crying to Yahuah like I'm having a full-blown tantrum, okay? I tell him I'm going to do the right thing, okay? And I'm on the ground, like having a tantrum like a kid. Then he returns my sight to me. I awoke from that dream feeling like I was being tested, and I failed miserably. Okay. So by the time I was like, then after, I remember I think that was it, y'all. Because I think I did get back up and start heading back to go do the right thing. And then I got my sight back or something. But anyway, so I woke up and I heard the red from my car is the blood of Yahusha that covers me. Okay. And then I heard, do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Okay. Yah sees. Do right by your brothers and sisters, even if they are, strangers. The stranger who attaches to us, right? They're also part of Yashar'al. Yahuah sees, okay? All are in HaMashiach, okay? And then I was led to Jeremiah 17:9, which says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, Yahuah, search the heart. I try the mind, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Okay. So Yahuah knows our hearts. I did not want to do the right thing. I was thinking about myself in that dream. When Yahuah was driving the car and the bike, everything was okay. Right. I was able to move around. As I said, I couldn't see, but he can see everything around me, and he was like controlling the car and the bike, right? Even when I wasn't in the car, nothing got messed up until I pushed the button on the remote. Like, even when it hit the other car, it didn't damage the other car. But anyways, but when I tried to control it myself, I messed something up, because I took control. It got, I messed it up. And despite me messing it up, he still was leading me to do the right thing. Okay. So we must wait on Yahuah. We must allow him to drive and do not take things into our own hands. You can end up, or we can end up messing things up. But even if we do, he can still assist us. Remember the car rolled down the hill and it bounced. Remember the car rolled down the hill and hit the car, but bounced off of it. It wasn't until I hit something on the remote that it damaged the other car, okay? We do not have control over our lives. Yahuah does, okay? We must allow him to guide us. Proverbs 3:5-8 says, trust in the Most High, the mighty Yahuah, with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. And always acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahuah and depart from evil. It shall be health to your navel and marrow to your bones. There are many examples in scripture when people decided to not wait on Yahuah and take things into their own hands. And it caused issues, right? It caused problems. So remember Abraham and Sarah, right? So despite, Sarah being promised, they were promised to have a child. They grew impatient. And Sarah arranged for Abraham to conceive with their servant Hagar, causing significant family strife amongst other issues, right? Then you have King Saul, fearing the Philistines and lacking patience for Samuel to arrive. Saul offered a burnt offering himself, an act of disobedience that cost him his kingdom. Then you have the Yahudim, right? In Exodus 32, while Moshe was on Mount Sinai receiving the law, the people grew impatient and created a golden calf to worship, resulting in severe judgment, okay? And we were given given very clear instructions to wait, right? And then you have in Exodus 2, Moses, before his time in Midian, Moses tried to bring justice to people by killing an Egyptian, taking matters into his own hands rather than waiting on Yah's deliverance, okay? And then King David, right? He acted on his own desires regarding Bathsheba instead of waiting on Yahuah, resulting in disastrous personal consequences, okay? And there's clear instructions in the Torah about not coveting another man's woman, okay, or another man's spouse. So Yahuah knows best. We have to understand that. This walk is different from what we were raised on. It's definitely, like I always like to say, it's a partnership with Yahuah. This walk is a lot of accountability. It's not, we cannot be lazy. We can't be spiritually lazy. We cannot be, we can't be lackadaisical. He says, pray about everything. We have to pray about everything. That's every single, and I'm getting beside myself or ahead of myself, but that's every single thing in our lives. Like, we have to incorporate Yahuah in it, or, things can get off track, right? Yahuah knows best. He has the ultimate plan. He can see things we can't. There's always consequences to not following Yahuah. And we can think of Adam and Hua, right? They transgressed, and that's how we got here right now, right? He gave us instructions in the word, all right? We know that, right? We have his Torah. And think about the dietary laws too, right? So there's consequences to eating unclean food, right? Not just that we are partaking in eating the unclean food, but also, Yahuah understands the things he made, right? He made these things to clean the earth, or he made these things to do certain tasks. And so he knows why we should not be eating them, okay? And then when people do eat them, it causes health issues. It causes health problems, okay? So, I always say, and we know we're supposed to follow the Torah, period. That's just what it is. He said, if you love me, guard my Torah. That's what he said. If you love me, guard my commandments. And then, again, think about your life, right? Times when you've been doing something, or there were times, I know for me, right, where I've done things without consulting or talking to Yahuah about it. And then I wish, that I would have talked to him about it. I wish I would have prayed about it first, because then it doesn't even work out the way it doesn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. And it would have been better if I would have just prayed about it, or maybe I, delayed something, or just didn't handle it right because I didn't talk to Yah about it first. Okay, so sometimes we may move out of fear, haste, or impatience, right? Leaning on our own understanding, or lacking trust in Yahuah. As we were talking about earlier, it's very easy for people to trust in man because you can see man, you can hear man, you know what I mean? But we're not supposed to trust in man. We're supposed to trust in Yahuah. The word says, you know, blessed are those who believe without seeing, you know? So we have to be developing our relationship with Yahuah, because he can help to build our faith in him. Okay, so it can be difficult to wait. Okay, I'd be a liar if I sat up here and said that I'm good at that all the time, because I'm not, you know. It can be hard to wait. Okay, so let's discuss what wait means. Okay, so wait originates from the old French waitir, okay, and Germanic roots watan, originally meaning to watch, guard, or lie in ambush. Okay, it evolved from an active surveillance to mean remaining in place, expecting or delaying action. Okay. In the Strong's Concordance, the primary Hebrew word for wait is kaba or kava, which signifies a confident, active waiting, often translated as to look for, hope, or expect. It implies a binding together or gathering strength, as seen in Isaiah 40:31, right? They that wait upon Yahuah, okay? So kava again, or kava, I'm a little confused with the V and the B. I feel like sometimes the V is a B. But anyways, kava or kava means to wait, look for, hope, or expect, okay? It's often used in the context of waiting on Yah's action, okay? Like in Psalms 27:14. Other Hebrew terms, chaka or chaka means to linger, tarry, or wait for. Yakil, I think I said that right, refers to waiting with patient hope. All right. And in Greek New Testament, this one is pek de choimai, means to eagerly wait for or expect fully. Okay. It signifies to wait for or remain. Okay. So key contextual meaning, okay, the Hebrew context of waiting is not passive, kava is not passive, but rather an active, hopeful, and patient expectation, often described as a tightening or gathering of oneself to Yah, okay? So I'm going to mention some key Bible verses of waiting on Yahuah. So I mentioned it earlier, Psalms 27:14. It says, wait for Yahuah, be strong, and let your heart take refuge. Wait for Yahuah. Lamentations 3:25 says, Yahuah is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Isaiah 30:18 says, and therefore will Yahuah wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahuah is an allure of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. So blessed are those who wait on Yahuah, okay? For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. You shall weep no more. He will be very gracious unto you at the voice of your cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer you. Psalms 135:6 says, I wait for Yahuah, my soul waits, and in his word I hope. My soul waits for Yahuah more than watchmen for the morning. More than watchmen for the morning. Okay. I don't have to read all of it. Well, let me just keep going. Our soul waits for Yahuah. Psalms 33:20. Our soul waits for Yahuah. He is our help and our shield. For our heart is glad in him, because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Yahuah, be upon us, even as we hope in you. Psalms 37:34 says, wait for Yahuah and keep his way. So guard his way. And he will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off. Psalms 37:7 says, be still before Yahuah and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. And then Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am Yahuah. Be still. Almost done, y'all. Yeah. Proverbs 20:22 says, do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for Yahuah and he will deliver you. Okay. So we must wait on him even when someone has wronged us. And that's one of the hardest things to do, right? He even says vengeance belongs to Yahuah. Okay. I can't remember where that one is, but y'all tell me if you know. In Genesis 49:18, he says, I wait for your salvation, O Yahuah. Okay. So y'all know one of my favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:6, which says, be anxious for nothing. It says be careful. What careful is anxious, right? Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yahuah. So we can't worry about things, right? Things are going to come up in life. You know, there's always going to be something that happens. You might have times where it seems pretty chill and pretty calm, but then it'll be a time where, you know, either Yahuah is testing you or the enemy's trying to, you know, get us or something, or our family's doing stuff, our friends doing stuff, or something arises where, you know, we have to take it to the Father. We can't just be like, well, I'm just going to do this, or try to figure it out on our own. We have to pray about it and wait for him. We can always pray about it and ask for confirmation. You know, like I know one thing, maybe like if you doing homeschooling, right? Because I homeschool my son, but that could be something that you're like, okay, well, I don't know if I should do this. Ask him for confirmation. Should I do this? Or, you know, please give me some kind of confirmation. I know, Catrice, you shared you had did that before. I've had to do that as well. Like, please help me to understand what it is you want me to do. Because just like Yahuah, you know, talks to us, the enemy also is very crafty and sneaky and will try to behave and act like and mimic, you know, the Ruach HaKodesh. So that's why we have to ask for wisdom. We have to ask for discernment all the time, okay? We can't be anxious. Always know, go to Galatians if we don't remember what the fruits of the Spirit are, you know. The fruits of the Spirit, go read on it, you know, and that'll show you, okay, what is leading me right now? Am I super anxious? Am I angry? Am I, you know, or look at the works of the flesh too, right? If you are being led, or if we're being led in a way that's bringing up a whole lot of anxiety and there's no peace and rest about it, then we have to understand that's not the Ruach HaKodesh leading us, you know. That's the enemy trying to probably instill fear in us, or our flesh trying to, you know, be fleshy, okay? So we have to pray about everything, okay? And what are some things we're waiting for? We know we're waiting for Yahuah's kingdom to come and his will to be done. We know that, right? We're waiting on the second Exodus. We're waiting on, you know, we're constantly waiting on Yahuah to teach us and guide us and grow us and refine us, right? And you might be waiting on a job. You might be waiting on housing. You know, you might be waiting on a spouse, right? Or just waiting on Yahuah to tell you which way to go next, okay? We're waiting on him to guide us in all our ways and the way we should go. And he said he will do that, okay? And that includes every single aspect of our lives, because he cares about everything that we go through. You know, he sent Yahusha. We don't have a high priest that doesn't understand, you know, what we go through, doesn't understand, you know, our struggles and stuff, right? Yahuah cares, okay? Isaiah mentioned this earlier, Philippians 1:6 says, be confident on this very thing, that he which has begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Yahusha HaMashiach, okay? And the last one I want to read is Isaiah 40:31, which says, but they who wait on Yahuah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So we have to wait upon Yahuah, and no, it is not always easy, but I think sometimes it's in our minds, right? It's really like in our heads, like which would be our flesh or the enemy, right? Like, why do we not want to wait? Because we're impatient, because we are thinking about how we think it might happen, but it hasn't happened yet. And, you know, we can always pray to Yahuah for patience. He's going to work it out in the best way it should be done. You know, you might think you're supposed to marry this person or be, you know, have kids by this time or have this job or, you know, but then Yahuah sees things that we can't see. So if we rush into doing certain things, you know, that might not be the right person for us. You know, that might not be the right job for us. We might be trying to get ourselves in the wrong job or the wrong position. And then we wind up, you know, having to quit that job anyway. Or somebody winds up getting a divorce because they married somebody out of haste because they was like, oh, I just want to be married. You want to be married to the right person. You want to be married to somebody that Yahuah gives you. Pray on that spouse. Don't just marry somebody just to be married, because then it's horrible once you get stuck to somebody and if you're stuck to the wrong person. So we got to pray about everything. He said every single thing. And that's really all I have. I'm going to open it up to the discussion. Hold on, y'all.
So yeah, I just want to kind of back up what you were saying about I know a lot of times in my life, I was like wanting to get married and I was desperate to get married because I just wanted to have, you know, a marriage and a family. And I did end up marrying the wrong person because I didn't listen to Yahuah. I wasn't back then letting him lead my life. And so I did get into trouble by marrying the wrong person. And it led into divorce, of course. And it was just, I mean, it doesn't matter if you've been married 2 months or 6 years. A divorce is traumatic for people. And a divorce, when you go through a divorce, it could be very traumatic. And it could really, you know, set your life in a way you don't want to go, because then you get into the problem where you don't trust anybody because you don't want to get divorced again. So, and also, I was going to say that a lot of times, and y'all know, I put in the group, I think yesterday, about how I was getting exhausted with praying for people and not seeing any change. And this, and I realized it is because of being impatient and not trusting in Yahuah, that it's not working out fast enough to where I think it should be working out. I think to where I think I should be seeing something right away. And it's kind of like, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm getting impatient and I'm getting exhausted for it. Yeah.
Think about Sarah. She told him to go on to Hagar, and that, you know, it's hard sometimes because I think decades went by. Didn't it delay it? It delayed her having a baby because she did that.
Yeah, it's delayed.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Tessa. Go ahead, Mom.
I'm kind of saying agreeing. I am agreeing with Tessa. I struggle again. Like, you're born into a system where, like the members were saying, you know, you have to help yourself. You're taught that. You're taught that you're a failure if you don't stand, you know, on your own. And so we're trained in that thinking, and then to turn around and say, well, you have to wait on, you know, the Father to do things is like, like Tessa said, like, you can hear it, but doing it is a totally different thing. And he's the only one that can teach us how to lean on him, because that's a big struggle for a lot of us, not all of us. You know, I listened to Brother Yahuah, and he seems to be, you know, yielding. And easily yielding. But what I'm trying to say is, for a lot of us, it's hard to let go because it's like free falling in our minds. It's a free fall. If you can't see it, if you can't see the bottom, you know, we need to be helped to be able to let go. Like he has to talk to us like a little child. Okay, let that toy go. It's okay. You know, that kind of thing. It's like he has to get us to let go. That's all I'm trying to say. It's hard. It's hard.
Yes, it's very hard, Sister Erica. It's very difficult. It could be very difficult, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think real quick before Maylene and Eugene go, Eugene Yahuah, I think that, what was I about to say? I forgot, y'all. So go ahead, Maylene. I'll pop it in when I remember.
It's okay. I just wanted to add or like share my experience for this week. I like this past week has been really hard. Not that there's anything going on, but it's just, you know, when the more you realize how we live in a system that is completely against us, and you're still forced to like live in that system. Like I was so frustrated with this society, with this world this week, and I think it was on Tuesday. After Tuesday, on Wednesday, like I had to crash out. Like I was like, Father, I'm tired. And I think in that also, we can come. Well, I was very impatient, and I think I'm not the only one that can be so impatient, like with this how the world is, and we just want to get out of it. Like we just want everything to end. Like I'm tired of paying bills. I'm tired of of just like, you know, going to school and learning things that like I'm paying so much money for school for basically nothing. I'm paying for like it's just all of that is so crazy and frustrating sometimes. But this past week I was very getting provoked, and I was very in my flesh, and that does not glorify the Most High. Like he has the world in his hand, and if even himself is allowing these things in his timing, is for a reason. And so this past couple of days I was just meditating on Psalms 37, you know, to not be frustrated about the wicked and the plans of the wicked. And yeah, Psalm 37 really calmed me down this past week. But it is very difficult. It can be like impatient. And even this morning I was reading some parts of Exodus where the people were getting impatient. I think it's very important to learn to wait. It's something that the word insists of, because it is it can be what's the word? I don't remember the word in English.
Like it builds our character too.
It does, and it does, yeah. And we need to build like dependence of the Most High, on the Most High. So yeah.
And also too, just popped in my head, Maylene, like when we are impatient, we are moving in our flesh, right? And then we're also not trusting in Yahuah, because we have to trust that Yahuah has our best interests at heart, and he has a better, you know, he knows the best outcome, you know, but we have to give him time, and we have to trust that he can do that he can do it. He can do anything. His thoughts are above our thoughts. So, you know, definitely asking him to help us and guide us. You know I went to school too, and you feel like, oh, you're just learning a bunch of nonsense, you know. But yeah. Thanks, Maylene. Go ahead. Go ahead, Eugene.
Yes, fam. I've had to deal with, in my, you know, talking about your flesh, just the ego aspect of everything, because I'm a man, and as a man of color in this matrix, I'm supposed to be able to do this, do that, do this, walk or not able, and all these other superhuman feats. And the idea of, you know, I can get my wrap around asking Yahuah, which way should I go, what should I do, what seems right to you. Sometimes I think, is this of Yah? Or is that of Yah? Does he want me to wait? Should I do this? Should I take on this job? Yeah. I'm trying to spend more of my conscious time focusing on what it is that Yah actually has in mind for me. And I had an experience today that actually showed me how ever present Yah is in our situations. I'm back in Maine. I travel for work. We had some snow today. As I was coming back from the store, there was a Gentile that was begging for money, on the street corner, someone who was homeless. I gave this person $4. This is what I had on me at the time. And I said, Yahuah bless you. And she said back to me, God bless you. Okay. Give me Yah. 5 minutes later, as I'm heading back to my apartment, I'm coming down this embankment. It's slick. I'm trying to stop. I'm sliding down the hill, and there's an oncoming traffic. And fam, Yah stopped my car.
What?
Right.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We're in front of the same person?
No, this is
a different person.
This is traffic that's coming in. I'm just saying that, this is just how dynamic our environment is.
He can do anything.
Yeah. Yes.
Hallelujah.
And that happened, and it made me think, okay, I didn't even think about this person. And calamity was blocked because of obedience to Yah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
Praise
like
the
that.
Father.
Wow.
So as we're absolutely, fam. So as we're going through all this back and forth, I just wanted to just express how ever present Abba Yah is in our everyday situation, even though we may not think he's there or he's not moving fast enough as far as our egos are concerned. Always on time.
Wow.
Always in time, because I would have T-boned this person. I would think, okay, what if I didn't give that? What if I wasn't obedient and did not give those $4? That wasn't going to make a difference in my life to somebody who was asking for it. Somebody, Yah probably said, ask for the money.
That's amazing.
So, we have to, just remain obedient, just remain constant. I think we should just pull our egos out of present time and operate mentally where Yah is outside of time.
Yes.
And leave it there.
Yes.
And expect because he comes in right when you need him to.
Yeah. That is
like
amazing.
That.
Wow.
Yeah.
You put a smile on my face.
I know, me too. I'm like choosing right now. And you see why you sharing that, Eugene, is edifying to us, because that's something you witness, you know what I mean, that you experience, and then we hear it, and it's uplifting to us, to help to build our Amunah. So thank you so much. Wow. That's so cool.
I like to picture the angels doing their assignments. I literally was picturing the angel stopping his car while he was talking, because he was assigned to do it for him.
I was going downhill. I was on ice.
Praise the Father. Can y'all picture the angel? Can y'all picture that angel
standing on my brake,
that car,
gliding downhill? As a car was coming in my direction, I would have. Yahuah is always on time, fam.
Yes.
Because I would have gone that person, and probably would have been just been calamity. But obedience saved me, and I'm forever grateful to Abba Yah. It is what it is. Abba, take the wheel, literally.
Yes, take the wheel. Yes.
He took your wheel, all right.
He did. Took the whole car. But that's a good example of we think Yahuah is not doing things, but he sees things that we can't see. So he knew, when you woke up that morning, he knew that was going to happen and he was going to protect you. You didn't know that was going to happen. You know what I mean? So you didn't even know to pray for anything like that, Or maybe we pray for protection, right? But
absolutely.
Yahuah he is so amazing. And he's so loving. Charge over us.
Indeed.
Wow. That's amazing. All right. Thank you, Eugene Yahu. And it was Tessa and then Yahukanan, I think.
Yes, praise Yah. Thank you for that, Brother Eugene.
Yeah.
A lot of times I've realized how I've been close in an accident where Yahuah has saved me or anything like that, or somebody's tailgating me, y'all, and I'll be like, Yahuah, can you please take care of this person? And they'll turn off or somewhere. They'll turn off on an exit or somewhere or whatever. But what I was going to say is someone once said that Yahuah sees the whole picture and we only see like bits and pieces.
Yep.
You know, so we don't see everything that he sees. And like we were talking about. And then it's kind of like when reliance on man increases, dependence on Yahuah decreases. So basically, we do not put our confidence and trust in man. Man cannot do anything for us. Man, you know, is just like us. Man did not, you know, die and raise from the grave for us. So no, we have to put more reliance on Yahuah and less reliance on man.
Yes. And that's another, you know, we were talking about praise earlier and how, you know, how powerful praise is. Like we need to, you know, I'm not telling y'all what to do, but I need to start praising him more because he loves that. He loves that. And there's many examples in scripture of people praising him, you know, our ancestors praising him and him doing things, you know, he protects us anyway. He says he's going to protect us, But
you're right, Yannah, because I think that if we praised more, our breakthroughs will come faster. We don't praise enough. I don't think we praise enough.
The stuff he does, the things he's done when people would praise him is like, even think about Hannah with the baby thing, right? She was crying all the time and then didn't she start like singing and praising him and stuff, and then she wound up getting her breakthrough. So yeah. Wow. Go ahead, Yahuah.
Can you hear me? Cool. So for me, it's been like several times I've noticed when I'm driving and maybe somebody's driving slowly, and rather than getting impatient, I'm just, you know, behind them, and then I see somebody come out of nowhere driving recklessly, almost hitting somebody, or, you know, I'm driving and I'm not like, you know, I'm just, you know, you can tell traffic is kind of building up, and like I'm just chilling, slowing up, and then a car is right behind me, rather than ramming into the back of me, just turns off, and I'm completely fine. And you know, it's like several instances where he acts right, and what I noticed from him is certain things he acts immediately because it might be an emergency, like. This is a miracle, right? This is like this. I need to intercede right now. And in other things, it just takes time, and it just requires you to continue in faith and just continue the course in believing in Him, and it strengthens it, and you see it later on Him. You know, as far as like praising Him, like for me, I praise Him every single day, because every single day, like when I reflect, He reminds me of things that I went through in the past that I didn't realize He had His hand on. He protected me. He saved me from. And then more and more, I just realized how much I appreciate Him. I'm grateful, and how much He loves us. Like He does love us. He continuously reveals to me everything He's been doing and everything He's currently doing. Like, so for me, I praise Him every single day. Like, that's the first thing I do when I get up. Like, I'm thanking Him just for being alive, for another day, for breathing, for seeing another day and another day to, you know, just walk in His righteous will. Like, every single day I'm doing that. Like, throughout the day, when I'm leaving work, like, one of the first things I may say is Yahusha Yahuah. Like, before I get home, when I get home, like when I leave, like I'm praising Him constantly, inside, out. Like I do it inside and outwardly with my voice. I'm singing songs to Him. I'm making up songs to Him. Like I'm constantly praising Yahuah, like every day. It's different. So, you know, just for me, that's just something He's just put in me to do, because He's just showing me. He's just revealing to me all of His esteem, like everything He's doing. So that's what does Yannah mean? praise, thanks, giving, Yada Yahuah, Barakatah Yahuah. Like I say that all the time. I be talking to him, man. Like, I talk to Yahuwah constantly. I'm always praising him. Like, all the esteem to Abba Yahuwah, all the praise, all the glory, all the worship, like, always to him. I say it all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Can I say something quick?
Yes.
Janelle, rebuke that Wi-Fi signal that's messing with your Wi-Fi, or rebuke Satan that's messing with your Wi-Fi, because it always seems to happen every time you're in a group conversation with us.
We rebuke that in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Thank you, Abaya, that Janelle has a clear connection with us, with this group. Thank you, Abaya. You can do anything. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, so be it. There it goes again.
So good.
Yeah, thank you, Yahukanan. Shanika and then Mom.
Yes, to piggyback off a little what Tessa saying, I agree. We don't put our faith in man. We have to put our faith totally in Yahuwah. For a little, I'll say about a little over a month, I was dealing with a health issue. And I was praying on it. The Ruach Kodesh gave me, the herbs and everything of what to take and what to do. And I'm following those things. And because my flesh gets in the way and I'm getting impatient, it's not happening quicker as soon as I want it to happen. So I told my husband, I'm going to go ahead and make an appointment. So I made the appointment to the doctor. And I'm not one to see one. I don't know when the last time, years since I lost my baby is the last time I seen a doctor, about 3 years ago. So to say my flesh got in the way, and I'm like, okay, you know what, it's not doing it quick as I want it to. So I made the appointment, and my appointment was actually Thursday. So I prayed and I said, Abaya, I know you said you were with me wherever I go. I know this may be my flesh, but I'm asking you, if this is not your will, you fix it. If you don't want these people to look inside of me or do whatever they have to do, I need you to fix it and give me some type of a sign. And I put my clothes and my husband said, you want to go? Because my husband stayed off of work to go to the appointment with me, because me going to a doctor, he's like, I'm taking off. So I went to the doctor. The lady tell me when I got to the desk, she said, I tried to call you. I constantly call you. I said, you called me? And I look at my phone, not one missed call. She said, I've been calling. It's keep going to you straight to your voicemail. I said, okay. I said, what's the problem? She said, yeah, somehow your insurance the numbers is not working for your insurance. I said, it's not. So you're telling me I don't have insurance? She said, no. So I said, okay, let me go sit down for a minute. I went and sat down. I called the insurance people. They said, your insurance is active. I said, it's active? Okay. I called the pharmacy to check on another thing. They said, yes, ma'am, it's ready. I said, is my insurance kicking? It's paying for it? She said, yes, ma'am. I looked at that lady. I went back to that desk. I said, ma'am, you have a very good day. And I walk off. And I said, Yahuwah, I praise your name. That was my sign. He did not want me to see them. For me to have patience on his timing of when this issue is going to be resolved. Praise to Yah.
Yes, praise Yahuwah. Yeah.
Praise Yah.
Yes. Ooh, boy.
That was clear, Shanika. That was really clear.
And it's good you listen, Shanika, because the problem is when we go to the doctor sometimes, because that's just happened to me before when I had a miscarriage. you go to the doctor, and then the doctor want to feed you so much negativity and basically tell you you're dying, you're sick. You know what I mean? And it's really just something Yahuah made our bodies to heal themselves, and He also made all these herbs. He made all of these, He made all these fruits and vegetables and things that can heal our bodies, and fasting and stuff like that. But the doctors will try to put you on medication, try to put you on stuff that will, stop you from healing or will kill you. In some cases, these medications will kill people. So, in a lot of cases, actually. Or they want to do an emergency surgery that they don't even know. And then someone winds up dead in some weird, emergency surgery. So, it's good that you listened. And we also can always pray, for health and healing over you. And just restoration over all of us, So... Yes.
Yeah, because have y'all seen the commercials where they'll have a drug and they'll say, yeah, this is supposed to cure this, but then it'll say, but the side effects are this, and this.
Sometimes even death.
And death.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. So you're like, but that doesn't make sense. It's supposed to cure this, but then you're saying the side effects is this, and this.
It's basically every drug you see a commercial for. If you see any of them, the fine print is crazy.
Yes.
They all walk by.
So yeah, it is really waiting on Him. Because I know when I had that miscarriage a couple years ago, they told me to come back in 3 days because I could die. And so I went home and I thought, because I went to the ER, and I thought I might die. I'm still alive 2 years later. So they clearly didn't know what they were talking about because I'm alive. But yeah, Ruach Yahuah. Because if it was up to them, I would be dead. And then they also wanted to do an emergency surgery on me, and I didn't let the doctor do that. And then the doctor was angry with me because I wouldn't let him do a surgery on me. I said, why you want to do surgery? We don't know what this is. We just want to go and see. Like he didn't know. They just was like, let me cut you open and see what this is. He wanted to take my ovary and my fallopian tube. He wanted to take my body parts. I'm like, no, you can't take my body parts. Yahuah heals us. He heals us, and He gave our bodies mechanisms to heal themselves. And that's why they poison our food. They poison as much things as they can so that we, to fight that, so...
It's just to say this, not to cut across you, but I don't know what it is about our womb they want. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cut across anybody, but that just touched me just now when you said that. I just had 2 ladies that I spoke with within the last 3 weeks that had a total hysterectomy, and it saddened me. I'm like, you let these people take your womb, because there's nothing on this earth that Yahuah can't do. It's nothing. And I mean, why and I don't know what it is these people want so much with the womb. I don't know.
I think they transplant them sometimes to men, and they use them for different things. I heard that they have put them in. Somebody said that. Were we talking about this one time? How they have put them in, done sex trans things?
Yes, we did.
They're trying to breed up their fallen kind.
Oh. They're
using ours.
Using our body parts.
Chosen people womb and body parts.
Yeah, our blood. They want our blood. They want our body parts, our skin. They want a lot. That's why, come on now. Biometrics, all kinds of things. They have a lot of things to... It is very sick, because I know somebody who had a hysterectomy too. And you too, Mom, you told me that you knew somebody who had her hysterectomy. I mean, our Aunt T, right? And then she never was the same after she had the hysterectomy, because once somebody take your uterus out...
Everybody not to do it. And I listened to my aunt when they started talking about, we need to do a hysterectomy on you. I was like, y'all hold your breath and wait for me to come back. That was not going to happen.
You can't have my lady parts. No, thank you. And the doctor was like, oh my goodness. He was like, I know plenty of women who have had babies with one uterus. I mean, not one uterus, one fallopian tube, one ovary, he said. And he literally was mad at me because I wouldn't let him do emergency surgery on me. So something sinister be going on.
It's got to be something sinister, and I personally think that it's very problematic because you'll notice when you go to these doctors, a lot of times they'll try to rush you into something, especially once you got to admit it. They done already put you, on an IV or whatever drugs in your system, so that you may not even be at your full capabilities to think clearly, or might not have a family member around so they can just get you to agree to something or snatch you away so you can't say nothing. Like, they do it far too often, and it's something very evil about it. It's something very wicked and demonic about what they do at these hospitals and these doctors. It's very, very spiritual, and it's very not right. And
they really black females that they want to get it from too.
Yeah.
They love doing that too. Very much so. They very much so. And when you have a family member that's asking questions, they get agitated. And they don't like it, and they'll try to kick you out. And if you try to get a second opinion, they don't want a second opinion from the doctor. But usually when somebody gets at least a second opinion from a different doctor, what they was told was not the same thing. They be lying in there. Some ain't right with them people, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they also have a big market for organs. We know that. I've apparently learned that they'll take people's bodies, whole bodies, and kind of like mummify them or something, to where they can put them in museums and stuff, or whatever the word is, where they do some really weird demonic things. And I feel like it has to be the demons guiding them to do these things, because why do you need to do these things? It's very strange. Like,
and why they won't let you keep your placenta?
And
sell it. They won't even let you keep your own placenta. They will sell it or do something with it.
Don't they eat that? And then they put it in makeup.
Some of them let you keep it, because I heard a lot of people were saying they were taking it and getting capsules made out of it, and they were taking it. So it must just be some hospital. Because I was like,
some places
be eating that, because that's blood. I'm like, but they were taking it home with them, and then they would send it to a lab to get it processed and put it into capsules.
Nasty.
And you don't even know what they do with their
put it in makeup too. Maybe they put it in makeup too.
Makeup. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Well,
Vampires exist, y'all.
Huh?
I've heard
Vampires exist.
I've heard they do it with foreskins too, like with the kids.
Oh, they probably do. That's so nasty. Weird.
It's also crazy because I heard that some companies, like, when they test the meat, like some of the companies have medical waste that they use as filler for certain types of foods. So things from biopsies, things from abortions, things from all types of medical procedures, they use as medical waste and process some of it in like food, some type of.
So they make us eat our own. That's nasty.
I think we forget that it's not the humans that is doing all this.
Yeah.
The demons that actually hate us and like seriously hate us are in charge of the system. So that's not surprising what you're saying.
That's facts. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just demons, it's fallen angels and Nephilim. It's all of them.
Demons?
And there's vampires too. They exist as well.
The evil, wicked ones.
Yeah, what we call science today, I don't know where I heard this, but it made so much sense. What we call science today, they used to call magic. So these people who we're calling doctors, they used to call them wizards.
Pharmakia.
So they were like wizards.
That makes perfect
sense.
So practice. That's what their job is.
Sorcery. Yeah, pharmakia is in the Bible, right? So that's what I'm saying. So the
Revelation.
Okay. All of these things they've told us are weeds, they grow out. Dandelion, there's different plants that just grow outside everywhere, and you're constantly picking them out, when you're doing your lawn work and stuff. They did that for a reason. They did that so that we, don't have, like, they want us dependent on their sorcery, right? Their drugs and different things like that. But Yahuah said he gave us every plant bearing seed as food, right? That replicates itself, right? So we have everything it's all around us, So if you don't have to go to the doctor unless something's hanging off, don't go to the doctor, because the doctor, to me, seems like they are just really in the business of, it's about money, even though I do believe, Yeah,
I agree with you. Like holistic
It's about murder first.
yeah, that's the business.
Holistic doctor that's doing, y'all's work, leaning on that first, prevention, instead of just trying to, give you stuff to cover up and suppress things. Like somebody that's really trying to heal you naturally and prevent it with plants and what Yahuah is giving to us. Yes, them is great. You get those people. But when you go to the other ones that's just trying to toss a pill or get you to do surgery or go to some weird therapy that requires red lights and blue lights and go do all these, all these different things that they want to do. Some stuff can be helpful, but some stuff is
pray about it.
Unnecessary. Yes, some
did
stuff
you
is
know
unnecessary.
that there's a plant, like a herb that can heal your bones as well? You just wrap it around your body and it heals your bones. If you've got like loose bones or any kind of bone problem.
Comfrey? Comfrey?
I can't remember the name of it.
It's comfrey. It's comfrey because that's what they do with comfrey.
It is. It is comfrey. It's comfrey.
Clove, like the clovers that we see. A lot of times they consider those to be weeds too, but those like pull out the toxins in the earth. So when you see a lot of them in the ground, like they're trying to remove a lot of the toxins that's around, and they'll try to get you to kill the clover too.
Yeah. Wow. So Yahuah gave us everything. He gave us everything we need plus some. I know Shanika was sharing some really cool story, with what was it? One of them herbs you had mentioned with some witch hazel or something that had healed Oh, Shanika got her hand up. Who had their hand up first?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I don't want to get too much off our topic, but this, I have family members cousins that call, which it doesn't bother me, okay, because I know right. Because I deal with herbs and that's all I deal with. So they call me a witch because I deal with herbs. They can call me whatever they want. I don't care. Yahuah knows. Right. Okay, it's just family members now. I don't have no outsiders doing that because my life speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But when I began to read about the fallen angels, the ones who taught different things, and if I'm wrong, I want you guys to give me some feedback on it. The fallen angel that did came down and began to teach the cutting of roots. It came to me that it's those people in the medical field, because listen, when the medical field, they still have to come back, even though they're using their chemicals and their whatever they're using to make these, that's not medicine, I call it drugs.
Yeah. To
make these drugs, they still have to use some type of plant form to put in their chemicals to mix. So that's the witchery in witchcraft. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. That's what I saw.
Right.
So they're looking at me as the witch, and the ones they're going to and depending on is the witches. I mean, that's what I said.
Campaign. That was the campaign. I guess it may have been before Rockefeller, but that was the campaign they had against holistic doctors. So that's why they are calling you a witch, because they taught the public. They lied to the public and said that holistic doctors were what did they call them? What did they call them, y'all? They were fools. They were jokes. They were calling all kinds of names.
Like Dr. Fabianos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard they killed him. Wow.
So
wow.
It's not that you're wrong.
You're not wrong.
It's not that you're wrong. They did that, and they set up that lie just like they set up all their other lies, so that people would go to these medical doctors that they were setting up. So what your family doesn't realize is you are doing what we were doing before they came and assaulted and started lying.
Do they read the Bible? Even in Genesis, he said, "I gave you every plant-bearing seed."
A lot of people, they read things, but they may not get the true understanding of it, though. That's the thing. It's like, when we read the other stuff outside of it, that gives more context. But even a lot of times, if you just read that verse, they don't truly have the understanding.
And don't forget the brainwashing, that goes along with the brainwashing.
Exactly, because just like you were talking about, like, yes, like medical doctors existed before then. They existed in Egypt too. Specialists existed back in Egypt. That came from Egypt.
Herbs, I'm sure.
Doctor was back then. And did
you all notice that in Torah, when someone was sick or had some kind of disease, they took them to the priest. That's what they told them. Go show yourself to the priest, and they would look at it and say, "Does it have white spot in it?" They were going to the priest. They were not going to some shaman or whoever, some medical person. They were going to the Levites to be looked at.
Exactly.
So we know it's a spiritual issue.
Yeah,
it's a spiritual fight, and also, like, that's the thing. All these people that are focused on the carnal things, the money, they focus on what I can physically do. And because if they cure people, then they don't have a base. That's why they have all these fake versions of all these, like, even like, okay, some people have cannabis that they deal with, right? Doctors, they have a fake version of cannabis that costs way more, that's super synthetic, that's difficult to get, and that's way more harmful to you. Like, they have a whole fake version of it that they allow people to get in states where you can't legally get it. And then it'll be in a capsule form. Usually it's cold and it's super expensive. And you could have grew a plant for way cheaper and gave it to them as a tack term, rubbed it on them on their skin, and used it in a natural way, and it wouldn't have been no problem. But see, the thing is, when you do those types of things, they can't monetize those and force you into it, because anybody could grow the plant. And once anybody can grow the plant, you can make clothes, you can make paper, you can make anything out of hemp, which is the other part of the same plant, and you have the medicinal purpose that can help with pain, that can help with the other different things. So it's just with everything, like, they don't want you to be able to be independent from their beast system.
You see, they stomped on hemp, because you can't do anything with hemp. They stomped it out.
Exactly.
And I wanted to mention a chiropractor, because I felt like, okay, I don't want to take any kind of chemicals or anything, but I can get like this natural healing. And so I went to a chiropractor, and I took my daughter too, because she had some back problems. And then I noticed, like, after I went, I started feeling like a lot of lust, and just it was like weird, because I had not felt anything like that. So I started to look it up, and that chiropractor, I don't know how to, whatever it is, it came about from this guy that was in a seance, and he said that he had a vision that told him how to do all this stuff with chiropractor work. So I was like, oh,
and they're laying hands
on you. What?
Yeah, they laying hands on you, Catrice.
Yeah, and they were like this table is like their altar. They putting you on this altar, and they're hitting your body in certain spots. I was so blown away by it, but I noticed immediately these feelings I was having. I was like, why would I be having this? And I didn't even relate it to that until I just started to look into this science of chiropractic, and I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Wow.
So yeah,
who would even think that? Who?
Yeah, they were in a seance, and he got this vision from a seance.
Yeah, that's how they trick us. That's how they trick us, because even when you go to them, or if you go to people that do other type of body work on you, usually it's in dark rooms. It's on tables.
Yeah, massage parlors, yo.
Right. It be the same type of thing, and you don't realize it, and then something weird happened afterwards, or something spiritual, and you're like, what happened? And they ain't doing anything. So they're touching you. Yeah, exactly.
I was so upset. I was like, I was just so upset. And I was in repentance, because I thank Abba that I didn't keep going, because I felt something was off. So I thank him for giving me
my goodness.
I could have been going every week.
Oh my gosh, you learn something new every day.
And you know, the other thing about these type of things is, you know, sometimes, like, when they be touching on a bunch of different people, so the other people be having spirits and things on them as well.
That's true.
In addition to that, and I'm sure there probably is a way to do those types of things from Abba doing it, but you gotta. Where would you find them? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was not showing the people that they have a business to it, you know, you wouldn't be able to really get to it unless he tell you himself.
I am so
What do
shocked.
they call the procedure where you go to like a massage parlor place to the Chinese people, and they do those needles, they put them in you? What do they call it?
Acupuncture.
Yeah, I done that, and it didn't actually help. It only made my back pain worse.
You ain't sticking no needles in me. You talking about you don't want no dogs? You don't want no dogs in the house. You should have been like, I don't want no needles in my body.
I tried that acupuncture before.
Well, guys, let me close out this video. Does anybody else got anything pertaining to waiting on Yahuah?
Can I say something before you close it out?
And then Catrice,
I'm way back on old comments in the beginning of the of our talk, and I want to say I praise Yahuah, because if we pay attention while we're even driving, I tell my son this all the time when he in the car with me. I'll be like, pay attention, because you're driving from point A to point B, and Yahuah is saving you so many times. If you pay attention, like a lot of people nowadays, they're merging into the same lane at the same time. They're not seeing the person in the third and the first lane, but they're both trying to come into the middle lane together. Also, I mean, it's so many ways he saves us during the day. During the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we would just pay attention, we'd be praising him even more, because I'm just so I'm glad that he blessed me to trust him, and I'm glad he blessed me to see it. Like, I don't know about y'all, but especially when I'm driving on a highway, you see a lot of people being saved all day long. They might not say thank you, but you see it all day long. So I just want to say all praises to the Most High, because he's a great protector. Always.
He's very kind to us. Well, that's all we have for you guys. If you would like to join our group, please send me an email at yannah@yashar'al@gmail.com. Again, as I said before, let me know your thoughts down below. Yeah, that's really all I have for you guys, or all we have for you guys. Have an amazing, blessed day. Shalom.